Hello Gemini, welcome to your weekly forecast for June 10th through the 16th. Welcome to the new ones, welcome to my regulars. Those of you who watch these videos, you'll notice we have a little bit of a different setup this week. In honor of summer, we've got a little summer mermaid theme using pretty little mermaid cards here this week. This is going to be for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're going to see what's coming up in the week ahead, you guys. This is going to be money, spirituality, family life, whatever comes up. Sometimes love comes up, but I have the love readings also separately. If you want to check out the love readings after this video, you can check them out in the link in the description. We're going to see what is coming up in the week ahead for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Monday, Tuesday for Gemini. Wednesday, Thursday. And your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And guys, I got so much positive feedback on those blessing cards from last week. A lot of you really like that blessing and prayer. So I'm going to do another one for you guys. A prayer for Gemini at the end. A blessing for Gemini at the end from the blessing deck. Alright, my dears. Freedom is coming up for you Monday, Tuesday. You've got this very intense card here. It says independence, self-determination. Gemini, this is going to be different for different ones of you. Those of you who are familiar with my reading style, who watch my videos, you know that I read intuitively. You know that I'm clairaudient, that I hear. You know that I work with the archangels, and that sometimes words and information come in through phrases and words, and that also I will see the images and the card and certain things jump out at me. And I invite you to do the same thing as I'm reading, as I'm pulling the cards, guys. I invite you to look at the different cards and see what colors are jumping out at you, what images are jumping out at you, and what that means to you, what those symbols say to you, and make a little bit more of a personal spin on the general reading. I encourage you to do that. For me, Gemini, as I'm looking at this card, the way that I'm reading it for you is that yes, there's independence and there's self-determination that you're going to be experiencing in the beginning of the week. But I also feel, Gemini, that a lot of you are embracing certain aspects of yourself that maybe you were made to believe, or you were kind of like pressured into thinking was wrong, or that you should change about yourself, or that people maybe were critical and you're like, you know what? I kind of like that about me, and I don't need to change that. And so you might be seeing that some of these things that you were made to feel bad about are actually pretty badass, or they're actually pretty good traits to have. And so I am hearing the word unapologetic. And I feel, Gemini, that Monday, Tuesday, for a lot of you, that's kind of the element that you're in. You're in this unapologetic element where you're like, you know what? I'm not going to say, you know, that there's anything wrong with me, because I don't believe there's anything wrong with me, or I don't think that these things need to be changed. It's just you're coming into this authenticity, and you're no longer feeling like you need to bow down to the pressure of watering yourself down for somebody else. Some of you have been in a situation for a while where you've been going out of your way to walk on eggshells, to step around a situation, to be accommodating to others, and you're over it. Like, you're not doing it anymore, and you're like, look, this is what it is. It is what it is. Like, we gotta figure it out, or, you know, you let me know. But you're just kind of in this energy where you can't do it anymore, and you're not feeling like you need to be embarrassed, or that you need to change anything. You're just owning it. You're owning all of you, and you're feeling good about who you are, and you're feeling comfortable with it, and you're not feeling like it needs to be changed. I do feel that for some of you there's a lot of confidence that's happening, and I do feel that for some of you there's this massive shift in the root chakra where it's balancing out and it's opening up. And this is for some of you, Gemini. It's not for all of you. Again, some people get very offended, and I don't know why, because nothing I ever say is meant to be offensive. But for those of you, Geminis, who've been experiencing lack of sexual drive, I think that for those of you who've had a lack of sex drive, there's something happening with the root chakra in the beginning part of this coming week where it's coming back to you. It's being returned to you. And it's probably associated with the surge of confidence that's coming in as well. Maybe you just haven't been in the mood because you haven't been feeling good. But the fire is coming back to you, Gemini. A lot of you are having your fire return to you. Your Wednesday, Thursday is reflections. What you contemplate can actualize. Alrighty. So you're manifesting, in other words. This is a very fancy way of saying you're going to be manifesting. See how she's just kind of sitting on that rock, and it's just kind of with her energy, she's been able to form that water into something. She's been able to create something out of this water. So a lot of you are creating something out of thin air. A lot of you are, creating some kind of possibility or a situation which, a solution to a situation which has been bugging you. Some of you, it's very interesting because remember how I was saying in the beginning of the week, some of you have been stepping on eggshells in this situation and you've been feeling bad about it, and you're suddenly coming into this confidence and you're coming into your power. I feel midweek you're beginning to see ways in which you can kind of maneuver this situation in your favor, where you're actually kind of able to shape and mold. I almost want to use the word manipulate, but when I say manipulate, sometimes people take that as a negative way, and I'm not saying you're a manipulative person, but manipulate is actually also another word for forming or shaping, okay? So there's some kind of like you're able to take the situation and form it and move things around and work it in your favor. You're realizing you have more control over this situation than you previously realized, and so you're turning something around to your favor. Maybe somebody's been coming down on you and you're kind of able to turn it around and say, look, you're like setting some kind of boundary, or you're setting some kind of thing where there's going to be a new agreement, and they're going to have to come in and do something differently. It could be, for some of you in work, it could be for some of you something with family where there's some kind of arrangement. It's like, oh, well, wait a minute, didn't you owe me $500? Or by the way, or something. I don't know, I'm just giving you an example. And so you're kind of like just shifting something, but not like in a sneaky bad way, like in a way that in which you're entitled to do this. You have the right to do this. So you're taking the situation and you're shaping it, or you're creating it into a way that benefits you. Okay, some of you are just manifesting a new opportunity, a new friend, a new love. You're creating something new in your life. You're calling something into your life. And so a lot of you are just feeling very optimistic about your future as a result. And that's a good thing. You want to hold on to that vibration. Your Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, is honoring the masculine. I love this, okay? So this is going to apply for you whether you identify as male or female. And so I'm going to explain this. And this came up for one of the other cards. It may have been Aries. So some of you may have Aries in your moon or in your rising. Or you may be dealing with an Aries. Not necessarily. I'm just simply saying it because it came up for them as well. But that doesn't mean that you have to know one or have to have it in your chart. So I'm going to let you know that this card is going to apply to you regardless of if you identify as male or female, because what is happening is that you're going to be able to just kind of visit a lot of the beliefs that you have about the masculine. Whether you are masculine or not, you're going to have a chance to really kind of look at what your belief is about the masculine and how maybe some of those beliefs have been false. For example, maybe you're somebody that you date men, okay? And so maybe you kind of at some point when you were younger developed this ideology that, you can't depend on men. They're here today, they're gone tomorrow, or they're all dogs, or they're all players, or they're lazy, or they're this, or they're that, or you can't depend on them. Or maybe it's the other extreme. Maybe you grew up thinking that, men are Superman, and they never get hurt, and they never cry, and they can fix anything, and they're just like these superheroes. So then maybe you have these really unrealistic expectations of the men in your life. Or if you identify as male, maybe you just kind of had a lot of things in your childhood where you felt kind of pressured maybe you had a lot of like machismo, put in front of you from a young age. And so you thought, okay, well, if I'm going to be a man, I got to be this tough guy, or I got to work like a dog and sacrifice for my family and, work from morning to night, or I got to like have all these different ladies, or I got to be rich, or whatever it might be. You are revisiting a lot of the impressions that you had in your childhood, and you're figuring out which ones are realistic, which ones aren't, which ones are healthy, which ones aren't. And you're really coming into a better understanding of what it is to be a man and what it is to honor that masculinity. Some of you who identify as male, you are going to be stepping up to somebody and you are going to be like kind of establishing that, like kind of like ways in which you want to be respected as a masculine figure. The same way that women might say, well, I want to be respected, my eyes are up here, buddy, don't look at my chest, my eyes are up here, or like whatever, right? Like as women, we might have ways in which we say, as a woman, I want you to respect me in these ways. Some of you who identify as male, you're able to step up and say, as a man, I want you to respect me in these ways, or I want you to honor these masculine traits or these masculine attributes that I am bringing into this relationship, right? In a healthy way, okay? And then some of you, those of you who date men, you're having a healthier understanding of the masculine, where you're able to see them as more than just, oh, I want this person to be my boyfriend or my husband, or this guy is sexy, or I want him to take me out on the town and pamper me. And there's nothing wrong with wanting those things. There's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting those things, but you're still you're seeing them from a human standpoint. You're seeing them as your fellow human before any of that other stuff. And this is going to really improve your love life and your interactions with masculine energy leaps and bounds, my dears, leaps and bounds. Let's go ahead and take a look at your blessing, your prayer card for the week. And again, guys, check out your moon sign and rising sign videos as well, because some weeks that's going to resonate with you more, or it might just kind of add a little extra information. You guys can come back to this video and listen to this prayer every night before you go to bed, or every morning when you start your day. If you wish to do so, feel free to do so. But we're going to see what your prayer is for the week for our Gemini friends. A blessing on your intuition. Okay, so some guidance is coming in, Gemini. We're going to go ahead and read the blessing. There's an 8 here also, so there could be something where your intuition is leading you to your abundance. Keep in mind, guys, that abundance is not just about money. Yes, it's a part of it, so that will be included. But this is also about friendships. This is about a happy family life. This is about feeling loved, feeling supported, feeling like you have a purpose. Abundance is all of those wonderful things. So your intuition is going to be leading you to those things. But let's go ahead and look at the blessing and this prayer that's being offered up here in this book for our Gemini friends. Gemini, a blessing to create a trusting relationship with your own inner guidance. In this world, many will seek to guide you. They will hold a torch aloft and show you a road that they will promise you has a destination that is heavenly or healing, or a home for the spirit in which you will be loved, in which you will finally belong. May this blessing light the torch of your own inner guide, who alone knows the truth of your soul. May you begin to sense out what is best for you without pride or vain public deliberating. May you just simply connect with the light within, and from that light shine out, and with that light, the glowing radiance of your own intuition, the guide of your own spirit. May the road you take be softly illuminated. May you trust when it takes place, but not force it on another. May your own intuition grow in its light until it glows bright when needed and softens when you feel ready to walk steadily into the direction of your own soul. May you trust that you are becoming who you were born to be, and never who another would make you. May this intuition not be shaken by mistakes or misrepresentations, but may you open up the senses you were so gifted with by the Spirit that guides us all, and may your own inner wisdom that will be expressed through that innate gift of intuition be given room to blossom. May you be taught well, but not attached to teachers of the intuitive gifts. May you be guided, but never against your own intuitive will, and may you come to understand that the price of walking this way of truth to the self may sometimes be high, but never as high as giving up of will and spirit and guidance to others. Let yourself be open to the messages from within first, and then allow the world to speak to you through the filter of your most pure intuitive gifts. Blessed be, Gemini.